This Paaputtu is such a happy discovery. I don't think a Kodava celebration is ever complete without the Pandi Curry. Hi folks, welcome to another episode of Gourmet on the Road, and we're in Vijayanagar in Mysuru. Now I love Kodava cuisine, but unfortunately in Bangalore there's very little Kodava cuisine that you get in restaurants. So when we were planning a Gourmet on the Road series in Mysuru, I thought we should probably look for some Kodava cuisine here because Mysuru is not too far from Coorg. And so we've discovered Simply Kodavas, a restaurant that came much recommended for its Kodava fare. And I'm told it's run by a Kodava family, dishing out staple Kodava fare made from family recipes. So I'm excited about this meal. Let's go in and check out what a Kodava meal at Simply Kodavas is all about. Let's go. It's a rainy day here in Mysuru, so there are not too many patrons here. But you enter and you see all these artworks that depict various aspects of the Kodava culture. You know that you've come to the right place. So I have the menu here with me, and I can see a bunch of items here, including Chinese and Indian. So it's quite an extensive menu. But we are here for the Kodava fare, and that's really what we're going to be trying. So I'm here with Ganpati, who's given me an orientation, an introduction to the kind of food that they do. So all these dishes are made to your family recipes?
Exactly.
All right. Can we take a look at the kitchen and see what you do? Right? Oh, great. Good evening, sir. Nice to meet you. Likewise. I can smell some great food happening here. This is the pork masala.
Pork masala.
Does this have kachampuli in this?
Yes, kachampuli, sir.
This is the famous Pandi Curry that's being cooked here and cooked with kachampuli and the special masala that goes into it. I am looking at that cooking away here and my mouth's already watering. I am looking forward to tasting this Pandi Curry with the akki roti, soft fluffy akki roti. You can now see that akki roti puff up. Wow. It's as fluffy as a fulka made of rice flour. Wow. The Kadamputtu. So this has just come off the steamer. The Kadamputtu, tiny dumplings made of rice. So I can see some coffee being...
Yes, coffee. It's black coffee with made of jaggery and the coffee powder.
Made out of jaggery and coffee powder. And what jaggery do you use in this?
It's a
Black jaggery. Alright, and I assume it's organic jaggery.
Nowadays
you call it as organic jaggery, but before it was
just jaggery. So that's the whole thing, right? So earlier it was just called jaggery, and that was the organic jaggery anyway. But now we have a nomenclature for it, organic jaggery. But this is the jaggery that always used to be used. So you typically have this black coffee, sweetened black coffee with your meal?
Yeah, with the meal.
After the meal. And is that a typical Kodava tradition?
Typical Kodava.
Alright, great. So having watched that Pandi Curry, the akki roti being made and also the black coffee made with jaggery being brewed, I can't wait to go to the restaurant and taste some authentic Kodava fare. Let's go to the restaurant and dig into the Kodava specials here. I like the vibe of this place, and I like the vibe of the father-son duo that I just met in the kitchen. They run the place along with the lady of the house, Mrs. Anup, and interacting with them, one can detect a certain sense of integrity, a certain sense of honesty, which I think is getting more and more difficult to find in this business these days. So we've got the Kadamputtu, we've got the Pandi Curry made with all that kachampuli, we've got the pork chili fry, and an innovative dish of Simply Kodavas, a pork kebab. We love a fried kebab, so why not a pork kebab? And then of course the fluffy akki roti. I'm going to begin with the pork chili. I've got some pieces with some fat. There's some peppers, there's some capsicum. Of course, there's also the green chili, which makes it the pork chili. So I've got the meat and I've got just that sliver of fat. You know, when it comes to pork, you need that fat to give it that flavor boost. It's cooked so well, the fat just melts in your mouth. The fat just gives up all its flavors and just melts on your palate. Wow. Next, I'm going to taste the pork kebab. Now, this is a creation of simply Kodava. It's not typically a traditional Kodava dish. So I've got two pieces here. One has more of the fat and the other one has more of the meat. That's certainly a slightly unusual flavor because this meat certainly has some bite to it and then coated in all that masala and deep fried. Am I a fan? Probably not of that first piece, but this one has more of the fat and a little bit of the meat. Let's taste this piece. You know, it's fine, but I think pork fat needs to be cooked for a while for it to render, for it to break down. So when you're making a kebab like this, when you're taking some pork, putting it into a bit of the batter and then deep frying it, the fat in the pork doesn't get enough of an opportunity to render and to impart its flavors into that bite. So therefore, I think it's innovative, but I'm not a big fan of this one. But I certainly am a big fan of the pork chili fry. Oh my goodness, this is a delicious preparation. Those deep brown roasted spices, and then you have the flavor of the pork. I can definitely taste a coriander powder in that masala and a slight tartness that perhaps comes from the kachampuli that's used or the Coorg vinegar. I forgot that I need to eat my akki roti, so I'm going to take a bit more of the pork chili and taste it. Oh, this is hot. Wow, look at all that steam that's emanating from this akki roti. I can smell that roasted flavor in this akki roti. This akki roti is absolutely dry. There's no oil that's used whatsoever. I'm going to taste this with the pork chili, a piece of the meat and a piece of the fat. You taste the roasted flavor of the akki roti and then you taste the fat as it lovingly breaks down on your palate, and then you taste the savouriness of the meat. This is a delicious combination. You certainly have the spice of the green chili that hits you once you finish the bite. The spice of the green chili lingers on the palate. Such a satisfying preparation. Next, I'm going to taste the Pandi Curry. Iconic Kodava dish. I don't think a Kodava celebration is ever complete without the Pandi Curry. I'm going to taste it just by itself with all that gravy. And then you have that tartness, the sour edge of the kachampuli on the palate. I think what I should also be trying with the Pandi Curry are these Kadamputtus. I'm going to break this down, roll it around in the gravy of the Pandi Curry, make a nice delicious mess and scoop up also a piece of the pork and transfer all of this safely to my mouth. You know, the Kadamputtu combines so well with the Pandi Curry. So you taste the roasted spices in the masala and then you taste the meat and then you have the Kadamputtu that, in a manner of speaking, not just transfers all those flavors to your mouth but also cleanses your palate in between helpings of the Pandi Curry. And the Kadamputtu is very mellow in its flavors. It's a sort of accompaniment that lets the meat shine. It's there just to lend some body, some structure, some texture to the meat as you enjoy it. You know what I like is that the meat here, you've got a bit of the meat and then you've got the fat. You need that fat in the meat to convey all those flavors. You know, the restaurant is coming alive with the bustle of diners who've just walked in the last few minutes, and it certainly has a happy vibe. So all these diners have now probably placed their orders. Some of them are probably regulars. They know exactly what they want, and there is that happy buzz of expectation in the air. This is the Paaputtu. That's the Noolputtu. So I've got my next couple of dishes here on the table. I've got the chicken curry, and with the chicken curry I have something called the Paaputtu. Now this is something that I've never tried before. So this is made with broken rice, and it's got fresh grated coconut shavings on top of it, and of course here you have the Noolputtu. Basically cooked rice that is coaxed through a grinder into these lovely strands of rice. Now this is something that I've never tasted before. So this is a creation of simply Kodavas perhaps. This is the pork biryani. Now some of you may say this is sacrilege. Well, the Kodavas love their pork, they love their rice. So a pork biryani was a natural outcome of this love for pork and rice. So I'm going to taste some of that pork biryani later. But I'm going to begin with the chicken curry. Get some of that gravy. And I'm going to begin, I think, with the Paaputtu. Or these rice cakes, which is what they look like. So basically it's broken rice, some coconut on top. And what I think I should probably do is drown the Paaputtu with all this gravy. Just slather it over the Paaputtu and allow the gravy to work its way through the Paaputtu, just to allow it to impart all its flavors. So here goes my first bite ever of a Paaputtu. I'm also going to kiss this piece of Paaputtu into this gravy out here. So I've got the Paaputtu that's soaked with the gravy on all sides. I've not even tasted the chicken, but I can taste all the flavor of the chicken in the curry and the piece of Paaputtu that I just tasted. This certainly is a curry that has been cooked with love, that has been cooked with care, and that has cooked for a certain amount of time for the flavors of the chicken to render completely into this curry. And I love that fresh bite of the coconut that you get. Perhaps it's all the love that's emanating from this Paaputtu and chicken curry combination. And we haven't even gotten to the chicken yet. Wow. And now we're going to go for the chicken. When I got the chicken dish after the pork, I was wondering if I would be able to taste the flavor of the chicken. You know, having tasted the pork meat, the unctuous fat of the pork, the roasted spices, the kachampuli, but this chicken preparation, this chicken curry has enough flavor to shine even after those flavorful pork dishes. So I'm going to get this piece of chicken and the gravy on the Paaputtu. And this piece of chicken also has some of the innards. So this is going to be a rich, deeply flavored chicken bite. Oh, there you go. So I've got the Paaputtu, I've got the gravy, and I've got the chicken. This is such a happy bite. I also got a piece of the skin. So you also have that deep flavor of the fat from the chicken skin. I think the skin in the chicken is where all the flavor of the bird resides. I think I've gotten carried away with the Paaputtu. I need to try a bit of the Noolputtu now, or the rice preparation. So both the Paaputtu and the Noolputtu are steamed, so it's absolutely healthy. There's no oil whatsoever. Oh, I love the gentle warmth of the Noolputtu. So Nool means string, and therefore Noolputtu, because as you can see, this is quite stringy in its shape. Wonderful flavors. Wonderful. Time now to taste the pork biryani. For those of you out there who say that a pork biryani is nothing short of sacrilege, well, given their love for pork and love for rice, I think a pork biryani wasn't entirely unexpected from the Kodavas. And I think this pork biryani is more of a pulao in the way that it is cooked. You've got the rice and you've got these tiny pieces of pork. I don't quite know what to expect of this pork biryani, but let's give it a go. It doesn't smell like a biryani. It smells more of, I don't know, pork. I'm not sure. There's a certain smokiness to it, and that smokiness takes over your palate completely, and that's what you're really tasting on your palate. Now, I'm not really sure what's gone into this pork biryani, but it certainly tastes very different from what you would expect in a typical biryani. Let's taste the rice with the meat. That pork is cooked to this tender texture. It's mellow in its flavors, unlike the traditional Kodava preparations, which have a lot of that roasted spice and the kachampuli. The pork in this pork biryani is quite mellow in its flavor. It certainly is an unusual dish. I'm glad I tried it because of the fact that I tried something unique, something new. Perhaps some things are best left untouched. If I were to find myself in Mysuru again, I would certainly come back to simply Kodava and try more of the traditional Kodava fare. Dishes like the pork chilli, the pandi curry, the chicken curry with the paaputtu and the Noolputtu. These are the sort of dishes that simply Kodava shines for. So if you find yourself in Mysuru and yearning for some great Kodava cuisine, definitely stop by at Simply Kodavas and enjoy the taste of Coorg. Until the next episode of Gourmet on the Road, stay safe and happy eating. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, share and leave a comment. If you'd like to support Food Lovers TV, do log on to foodlovers.in and hit the Support Food Lovers banner. Links in the description below. Happy eating!